Have you noticed that one of the new characters is a reference to one of the most famous action movies of the 80s? Or that some of the new characters already live in the circus tent but haven't been introduced to the public yet? The teaser showing all the details of the upcoming episodes of the amazing digital circus was simply sensational. And what caught the fans' attention the most is the presence of new characters, each one more intriguing than the other. We're gonna bring you in detail everything we've noticed about each of them, and even the names of some we already discovered. Bubbles' brother? To start, let's talk about a new character who is directly related to two of the most beloved characters of the amazing digital circus, Jax and Bubble. The second new character that appears in the teaser is this guy here. He has very peculiar characteristics, which leaves us with a lot of doubts about what exactly he is. Many say he could very well be Bubbles' older brother, since his body really looks like a combination of several Bubbles. But at the same time, he has some differences from Bubble, such as having a stronger color with his body ranging from purple to blue. In addition, his eyes are different from Bubble's eyes, having a white part and black iris, while Bubble has much simpler eyes, as if they were just two black dots. There's also a good chance he has no relation to Bubble at all, and is just another completely independent new character. In this case, he wouldn't be made of bubbles, but rather of air balloons, many of them, which would explain the rounded shapes of his body. And what's his connection with Jax? We can notice that in the background, next to the new character, there's a logo on the wall in red and yellow. It's the same logo that's on the sandwich package we see when Kane shows Jax working at a fast food drive-thru. What does this mean? It means he'll appear in exactly the same episode. The question is, will he work with Jax or will he be a customer? That's the question. Swamp Monster. Another new character, one of the most intriguing of all, is a somewhat grotesque figure that seems to be a mix of crocodile and swamp monster. We can notice that somehow he even reminds us a bit of the Gloink Queen, mainly because of his mouth full of sharp teeth and striking eyes. Maybe there's some connection between the two, since my guess tells me he must be an enemy in the upcoming episodes, just like the Queen was. Furthermore, despite his horrific appearance, the swamp monster seems to not be covered in mud, but rather in chocolate. That's because we can see he's somewhere in the Sweet Kingdom by the pink canyons behind him, which are identical to the ones we see in the image of the Candy Canyon Kingdom that Kane shows. Behind him, we can see what looks like a waterfall of chocolate running through somewhere. All of this must be part of one of the tasks given by Kane to the circus crew. The question is whether he's a villain or someone who will help our characters. What do you think? While you don't find out whether this chocolate beast will be good or bad, subscribe here to not miss our next videos about animations and movies. Crocodile Dundee. The first new character shown by Kane is kind of a lizard that seems to be made of plastic with yellowish and greenish tones wearing a hat. Moreover, we can see he's holding something, which could be some sort of telescope used in desert-like places to see from afar. But the most striking thing is that the character seems to be a direct reference to a character from adventure movies of the 80s called Crocodile Dundee, who wore a hat very similar to the new characters besides their nickname. Which makes perfect sense with the new character who seems to be exactly a kind of crocodile too. Another thing we noticed about him is that we'll surely see him in the episode that will take place in the Candy Canyon Kingdom, since we see that the environment where he is completely pink, just like the image of the kingdom. If I were to guess, I'd say he must be one of the new residents of the circus who will arrive after Pomni appeared. Dr. Football. You must surely remember the scene where Pomni is desperately looking for Kane to help Regatta and stop Kaufmo's berserk version. And in one of the doors she opens, there's a doll-like NPC from the circus, lying in a bathtub. The detail is that he screams and then a monstrous face emerges and heads towards Pomni, but she closes the door before being hit. After a while, Gooseworks themselves posted on X that the name of this character is Dr. Football, and in the scene where he appears in the next episodes, we can notice that one thing is the same and another is quite different. For example, when he appears, he's once again screaming desperately. But at the same time, we notice that his color is different, as his body is in sort of a lilac tone. Besides, we can see that the background landscape where he is greatly resembles the Candy Canyon Kingdom mentioned by Kane, with even one of the kingdom's towers visible in the Open Kingdom image. In other words, we'll have the pleasure, or displeasure, of getting to know this current resident of the digital circus better. I hope he doesn't spend all his time just screaming. Princess Bubblegum? Still talking about the Candy Canyon Kingdom, it seems we'll have more than one episode set in the land of gummy bears and lollipops, where the fort and castle towers of the Candy Country are located. And, as it's a kingdom, it's only logical to have a sovereign. Many people didn't notice, but one of the new characters in the upcoming episodes is precisely the likely queen of the entire Candy Canyon Kingdom. We can notice that the queen, as we're calling her, is a sort of lollipop with unevenly placed eyes and very long eyelashes. Moreover, she wears a crown that attests to her royalty, along with a pink dress filled with colorful confetti, and seems to wear a pair of gummy gloves. We also notice that the Sweet Queen is kind of a reference to Princess Bubblegum, one of the protagonists of the show that surely marked the childhood of many of the animators of the amazing digital circus, Adventure Time. Princess Bubblegum also had predominantly pink colors and was the great sovereign of the Candy Canyon Kingdom that Finn and Jake defended. If I were to guess, I'd say the Queen of the Candy Canyon Kingdom is a fixed character in the universe of the amazing digital circus, and she must always live in the Confetti Palace, sitting on an ice cream throne. We just hope that, unlike Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time, she doesn't have a wicked and cruel side. I'll cross my fingers here. And if you think the digital circus episode set in the Candy Canyon Kingdom will be cool, put #sweet in the comments. I think they'll be sensational. Phantom Lady. Leaving the Candy Canyon Kingdom, now we see another very intriguing female character. We're talking about a beautiful maiden who seems to be made entirely of energy, like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. The character is so far the one who has the most human traits among all we've seen in the digital circus universe, since we see she has normal eyes, a very human face, hair, and ears. Moreover, we can see that Dr. Manhattan, let's call her that for now, also wears garments that can be considered quite elegant, like a hat and an outfit with a bow in the front. And that leads us to another theory. These factors in the clothes of the new character may be elegant, but they transport us to a fashion used in a distant past, which may mean she's not a being of pure energy, but rather a kind of ghost. And this whole episode could take place in a sort of haunted house or mansion, which honestly would make perfect sense, especially considering the next new characters, like in the case of Kaufmo's ghost. Just like our previous character, this other new member of the amazing digital circus stories has his body tones of a bright light blue. And in his case, we can clearly see he's floating, which gives us almost certainty that he's indeed a ghostly figure. Some even say that he might be Kaufmo in another form, but I highly doubt it. The colors of the environment where the ghost is located are very, very similar to those of Dr. Manhattan, the character we talked about earlier. Moreover, we can see he seems to be singing, as his eyes seem to be closed and his mouth is open. Or is that his nose? I'm not sure. Tell us in the comments what you think. His little arms are small, and he doesn't seem to have fingers apparently. Apparently, he seems to be a good character who will help the circus crew in their tasks. At least, that's what I hope and root for. Tape player. And to finish, we don't understand this new character very well, but Kane put him on the list, so let's talk about him a bit. Apparently, he's a simple old tape player, but as shown by Kane, he's a character, which means he can speak and have opinions that can be played back like tapes on an old tape player. We can kind of say that the eyes are where the tape rolls are. Apparently, by the tones and colors of the environment where he is located, he is inside the same haunted mansion where we will find and get to know the two previous characters we talked about, which may indicate that we will probably also have more than one episode within this ghostly place. And let me tell you, I'm very excited to see these episodes. And you? These are the 8 new characters that we will meet in the new episodes of the Digital Circus. We're sure they'll be amazing, and we'll have a lot of fun watching. And for you to have even more fun today, we've selected these videos that are appearing in front of you for you to choose and click. Thanks, and have a great time.